Okay, my dear friends. Okay, I hope you're paying attention. I hope you're listening to me, and I hope you're with us. The rules have changed. Let me remind everybody: Trump is still the guy. He's the guy. All right. Remember, let's do all that. He's not perfect. We're going to stop pointing to all this crazy stuff. Excuse me, this complaining and carping and sniping, and this one is that, and Tucker doesn't like Candace, and Candace doesn't like Tucker, and Milo doesn't like MTG, and Laura Loomer doesn't like this one, and Bober doesn't like this one, and I mean, this is such this horseshit. We're in the middle of a revolution, and there are some people saying some very good things, and I want people to understand. Let's stop this mean girl police personality nonsense. I don't even know how to tell you. Right now, there is still, and I appreciate this, there are some really good people out there. I was listening before to Owen Schroyer. Owen Schroyer said one of the best things available about, listen, in 2 years, there's going to be, well, Trump's going to be gone. There's midterms. What are you people talking about? This morning on WABC, I was talking about J.D. Vance. People like J.D. Vance because they like the way he looks, or they like his beard, or they are you buying that hillbilly Ellen? Okay, whatever. I don't believe anything. I was raised on country music. No, I was raised on professional wrestling. Everything's a work. Mrs. L got back, by the way. She's going to be doing a live at 5 today, so pay attention to Lynns Warriors. She came back. What did she tell you was going on in Virginia, what all these people are doing? You can't believe it. There is a group of people, I'm telling you, who have nothing to do with child trafficking. They talk a big game. They keep talking about, oh, Epstein, this one's a pedophile, and this one's a... They don't do anything. They don't do anything. Let me explain this to you. They don't do anything. They just talk. So, in 4 years, we're going to have an AI president. President Trump is still, he wants to have UFC on the lawn of the White House, get Ivanka. Okay, fine. He wants to build the ballroom. Okay, fine. He has been, remember, the rules have changed. The best thing he ever did was shut down the border. I love what he's doing involving at least this show of military force in terms of DC. But what people don't realize is that this is some very serious stuff about the dismissal and the ruination and the collapse of Posse Comitatus. And I stop right there because I realize I'm wasting my time. I'm looking for somebody to say somewhere, go deeper. That's easy. We already know that. No, I'm always backtracking. No, let me explain this. This morning on WABC, I was talking about Palantir. What's that? I said, Jesus, this is Peter Thiel. Lavender, AI targeting. He pretended he didn't know anything about this. I've got to go, you column A. I've got to bring in. The other day I was listening to some people say some great stuff. Nick Fuentes says some things that are fantastic. But I don't care about all this sniping and whether Tucker is me. I don't care about that. I don't. This is the cool kids arguing, because in every group, you'll know this. There's a group of people who always want to be the cool kids. I am convinced that, at least in this state and city of New York, no Republican organization can meet without anybody knowing 10% of what they need to know. And immediately what happens is you have cool people saying, well, we're the cool kids and we're involved and we're taking pictures of each other. I mean, it's weird. It's a strange sniping and I'm the cool kid and you're the cool kid. I have no time for that. I'm not a cool kid. Never was a cool kid. Don't understand what that means. Don't understand what that means. I don't get this. I want to talk to somebody who knows what's happening. I want to know what somebody who knows what is truly understanding and all this stupid bumper sticker chatter that we're involved in. The country is we are at war. We are in a revolution. And we are talking about the most stupid bullshit. Was Tucker's father in the CIA? Is Nick Fuentes? What? I don't care. That's not important. We have become, Emerson said that history is about biography. It's about personal experiences. It's not, well, our politics has been basically, excuse me, around whether we like people. I'm spending more time the other day. I'm saying Candace Owens is going to get her ass handed to her, and people say, "But I like Candace. I like Candace." Do you want to hear about the case? No. Do you want to hear about the 22 counts of the event? No. Do you know what this is going to do? Listen, schmuck, pay attention. She is paving the way for Melania Trump, who's going to be suing, who's going to be going after Hunter Biden, which is just for grins and giggles, and nobody doesn't really matter. But anyway, and then Michelle Obama is going to bring up. Oh, don't worry about that. And then we are looking at the evolution, the reemergence of, and this is important, of defamation as a form of lawfare. Nobody's getting it. I was talking to somebody the other day, and I said, Candace, I said, keep an eye on this. You're talking about the president, the wife of a foreign country, suing in a Delaware court for defamation. This is a game changer. Not just because of France. If somebody says, well, do you think that Brigitte Macron is a man? I said, that's not the issue. See, as a lawyer, we always say issue analysis. That's not the issue. Do you know what the accusations, what they're saying? Do you understand this? No. They snipe and play these stupid low-hanging fruit game about Big Mike and this and that and Michelle Obama, and this one is her hands and her face, and it's ridiculous. We are absolutely just awash in some of the most, this is sheer puerile infantilism, which is, of course, redundant. In the meantime, you're not going to recognize this country when AI and AGI kick into play. When singularity hits or whatever it is, oh my God, forget it. Forget it. Forget it. Did you see this latest story about the rise of chatbots? How about this poor guy who was pulled or lulled into this elderly man in meeting a chatbot? I mean, this is intellectual and spiritual transhumanism, the likes of which nobody's ever seen. Try explaining that. Try explaining to most morons intellectual and personality and spiritual transhumanism, where we're replacing human conduct, human contact with not machines, but cloud. Or good luck. Good luck. We need to school people. We need to find the best of the best of the best. The Delta Force, the Special Ops, the SEAL Team 6, the real intellects who can handle this stuff and are not looking to go out and be a part of who's going to be most popular. People who don't worry about doing hair and makeup. People who are out there saying, look, I appreciate what these people are doing, but Tucker Carlson and other people are going to, first of all, they're not going to do anything to affect the bottom line. We have some very serious problems. Number one, the way this country is dealing with foreign affairs. Foreign affairs and intellectual relations and the like, it is the most scary thing I've ever seen in my life. I've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. He's meeting with Putin. Do you understand what's going on? Do you understand what's happening regarding Putin? Anybody? No, no, no. Nope, 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 nope. It's a nuclear firepower. Yep. Anybody know? Nope. Anybody know what's going on? Nope. Anybody know what's going on with anything? With anything? Seriously. Anything? Seriously? Anybody? No. No. No, no, no. I don't understand what's happening. So we need to find an elite, kind of a delta force of really smart people. Really understand what is happening. We really need. When I talked to somebody today, I said about, do you understand that why is Lutnick? Why is Howard Lutnick and not Marco Rubio involved in foreign affairs? Why? Are you familiar with this? Not a clue. What is it that we're trying to do? Forget it. So I realized, okay, I got to wait. I got to maybe go and I'll say, okay, let's hear what John Mearsheimer says about that. Or let's look at Colonel McGregor. Do you know what's going on? Forget it. Forget it. You think any of the jadrules on cable news? No. Okay, that's that. Do you know what's going on regarding Ukraine? No. Do you know what's going on in the Middle East and Russia? No. No, 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 no. How do I expect anybody who says that they are so entitled, they have been bought off by an entire group of people, bought off by a lobbying group, bought off to swear you will never say anything as to the real issues that are going on right now? How do I explain this? You've got to go elsewhere. So it's almost like, in the old days, somebody told me that in Europe, they have these, if you want to go to the butcher, you go to the butcher. If you want to go to the baker, you go to the baker, and then you got to go to the fishmonger, and then you got to go to the fruit guy, and then they don't have a department store. That's classic European. We have to teach people, if you want to find this, you got to go to this guy. If you want to know what's going on regarding health, here. If you want to find out what Bobby Kennedy is doing, going here. You have to be able to really know what's going on. And this is a war. And the real war, the bottom line is we have to educate people. The rules are different. See this? The rules have changed. That's the thing. Trump, like it or not, he still is the best thing. I'm tired of all this sniping. And I'm tired of all this backbiting. And Laura Loomer, the other day, said something which is really smart. She says, let's face it. These people hate each other. And she's the worst. She hates Marjorie Taylor Greene. Okay. So that being said, number one, listen to me. The first rule is that we have to understand we are Americans. Not Republicans, not conservatives, not any of this stuff. Not I'm a Tucker conservative or a Candace or a Fox News versus a Newsmax. That's the way to go. Okay, you got it. No. We have more internal enemies that are not Russia, not Iran, not the Middle East. We have nothing to do with that. There are about 2 billion Muslims in the world today on this planet. And if 10% were these crazy jihadist types who want to destroy us, we would be seeing bombs and destruction everywhere, but we don't, because the numbers don't add up. They simply don't add up. The numbers don't add up. This is a fraud. There are people who don't understand Sharia law. I've got to stop and say, let me explain to you what Sharia law is. Today I had to stop to explain what Palantir was. Did you hear the story regarding targeting humans about the Lavender program to target Palestinians? And remember, it's not about Palestinians. You're next. No, so I got to stop and I got to explain that to somebody. Then I had to stop and explain posse comitatus, at least initially, where it came from and what the problem is. Janine Pirro, bless her heart, was bragging the fact that she indicted somebody for throwing a Subway sandwich at a federal cop. This is where we are today. This is the depth of this. This is where we are. I don't know where to go. And I am begging you, the only hope for us is you to immerse yourself, to use whatever particular programs you use, whether it's Grok or ChatGPT or these others, and learn, be an autodidact, learn, understand what's going on, learn, stop finding these, go elsewhere. Whitney Web has one of the best introductory sessions for people to hear new terms, new names, new phrases. I don't care whether you like people will, whenever I mention a name, somebody will say, I like Whitney Web. I don't care whether you like her. It doesn't matter. This isn't a popularity contest. She's talking about things that are really good, really deep, really interesting, really fascinating. That's number one. You have to go elsewhere. Sometimes there are people who are saying things that really you don't necessarily, you may not like them for certain reasons, but, and by the way, I cannot explain to people, I cannot explain to you what has happened regarding the issue of Israel, Palestine, and what's going on. I can't. Gaza. The world has been fractured. But if you watch Fox News, you will swear nothing's wrong. It's like you're sitting in a hurricane. But somebody outside put up screens outside your window, and you don't realize you're watching a monitor. It's not a window. You're watching a monitor, and it shows blue skies and birds chirping. It's an illusion. That's not what's happening. It's a monitor. It's being pulled in front of you to create an illusion. This is about cognitive stuff. This is not about, and you're just happy. And you're being spoon-fed this kind of a team stuff. I like Candace Owens. I like Tucker. I like whoever the hell it is that you like. I don't know whoever. Now, you're smarter than that. But America doesn't understand this. So forgive me if I keep saying you. I don't mean to say you're stupid. They don't know what's going on. They don't know. And it's been the bane of my existence the whole time. I never could explain 9/11 to anybody who nobody knows anything about 9/11. How do you explain 9/11 to somebody when you got to stop and say, okay, let me explain Building 7. Okay, stop. I'm always doing that. What are you talking about? Our good friend Ryan says the entire population needs a digital detox before any true intellectual revolution can take place. 24/7 social media feeds us mostly information, junk food, dating apps erode real relationships, and endless doom scrolling. Interesting. You're right about that. I can listen. I don't say turn machines off. I'm not losing my mind. There are some stories. This morning on WABC, we talked about. And thank you, Ryan. We talked about, of all things, cheerleading, male cheerleaders. They were gay, and I said, well, the whole thing about cheerleading is gay to begin with. I'm just kidding, but it was kind of fun. I don't want to spend the whole my life always wearing a hair shirt. It's just stupid stories about cheerleading and what difference does cheerleading do, and it's kind of fun. I'm not saying get rid of that. Sometimes it's fun to just talk about stupid things. It's okay to see people dance. I don't want to walk around and live in this, dour, wear black and, I'm always upset. No. But there are certain things that I've got a problem with. And there are certain types of intellectual pursuits. You got to listen. If they're lying, if they can lie about the news, think what they're doing about history. I could take you right now to the Vietnam Memorial in D.C. Stop anybody and say, what was Vietnam about? Good luck. What was the Civil War about? What was the Korean War about? They didn't even know that. Now that's just nescience. That's just ignorance. Versus not understanding the correct perspective. If they're lying about news, think what they're thinking about, what they're doing about history. History would be a wonderful thing if only it were true. Tolstoy. History would be a wonderful thing if only it were true. Tolstoy. One more time. Remember this. History would be a wonderful thing if only it were true. History is written by the winners. History is a myth that men agree upon. Was it Bonaparte? Napoleon? History is biography. What happened in the past. If you don't know what happened, and the history could be 2 weeks ago. If you don't understand 9/11, how am I supposed to? If you think a bunch of Arabs with box cutters did something, and if you believe that jet fuel melted 3 buildings in perfect synchrony, I have no help for you. If you've never learned. During World War, or prior to World War II, there was a period of time in which they had, of all things, maybe you remember this, people trying to explain this notion of the atom bomb. Do you remember that? Remember that one? They're saying, what are you talking about? This is where we are with AI and AGI. We have no idea. They said, no. Niels Bohr one time was trying to explain, and people like Enrico Fermi, no, we're taking the splitting the atoms. It's fission versus fusion, and the explosion and the chain reaction, and they're looking at you like, what are you talking about? What is an atom? What? And there's going to be an explosion. An explosion? Big. How big? What is it? And until they saw it, then they said, oh, now, that was a bomb. How do you see AI? You can't see it. Not only can you not explain it, I can't show it to you. It doesn't, it is worse than anything. It is an existential threat to our humanity. An existential threat. That bomb cannot on its own make other bombs and decide to go off when it wants to. No, we control that bomb. AI, because of the first rule, recursive self-improvement, it makes itself. It propagates itself. It promotes itself. It arms itself. It fortifies itself. It's like nothing you've ever seen before. Nothing. And nobody's even remotely talking about it. They're just, who is it? Somebody says they get Sam Altman. Oh, they're trying to lower it like, this is cool. And you don't even know. They are so far advanced, they are laughing. And they think they have a back door to this. They're thinking, you never create something that you cannot control. You never want to breed an animal that can break out of its cage. You never want to you never want to have something that cannot be contained. You don't want to have. Remember, when they dropped the first atom bomb, they thought there would be a chain reaction and everything in the universe, every atom would be cleaved, and there would be one spontaneous explosion and the complete and total self-immolation of the destruction of the world. They didn't know, but they did it anyway. Well, it's a risk we got to take. Okay. No, that's that. Human trafficking, we talk such a good game. Epstein was one of the greatest things I've ever seen in my life. Another example, how do you talk about Epstein unless you spend time and I've got to explain to you the forensic pathology of the hyoid bone and thyroid cartilage. That's it. That's the beginning. That's the end of it. That's too icky. Let's talk about how he was behaving and whether the guards fell asleep. And the guards were black. So people, DEI, they love that stuff. I was like, would you stop? That's not what we're talking about. They killed him. They killed him in front of everybody else. Why? It's so obvious. And we love this. We live in this world where we are supposedly true crime. We love this. Oh, we're true crime. No, true crime. Tartaglione, the guy who was his cellmate. If I had to put my money on it, that's the guy. At least I'd investigate it. They don't know what I'm talking about. Again, I got to stop and explain. Okay, let me explain this to you. We don't know anything. We don't know anything. And it's never perfect. Laura Loomer's great, except when it comes to Israel, then forget it. Okay, all right, fine. There was a time during Vietnam. I remember when people said, you don't talk bad about our troops because that's Vietnam. And and my father died in World War II. And by God, we don't. Okay, fine. All right. Okay. I got it. But we can't talk about something if you're holding me back and holding me down and you're preventing me from getting into it because you've got some preconceived thing, some bias somewhere that I can't get around, because this is about cognitive approach. Is how do you know what you know? How do you know what you know? Eric Bren, the guy with the plates, spinning. How do you know? Marcia McLuhan said, little lies are hard to keep secret, but big lies are easy because of incredulity. The bigger the lie, the easier it is to keep quiet. It's not that Goebbels thing about, the whole thing about, or Goebbels, as you would say, the whole notion about reality becomes perception becomes. No. My friends, I look at this, I'm saying, oh my God, we need adults. We need a select group of people. We need a Russell or a Sartre tribunal. Goose Down Story says, it is nearly impossible to accept constant insults, news that is proven wrong almost every single time, and claims someone cares about my woes. Indeed. But let me also tell you, we can do this, but we have to go out on our own and introduce people. We have to make knowledge. Remember, knowledge is science. Sciens, meaning knowledge. Scienter in law. Knowledge. Not truth. Knowledge. Give me just knowledge. I'll let people talk about what's true and what's not. Knowledge. If I don't know anything, not only if I don't know critical thinking, if I don't know what's going on, if I don't know the rudimentary, the abecedarian, just the lattice work of just stuff that is just usual, different religions, different faith, the Constitution, a little bit of history, a little bit of science, a little bit of this. If I don't have a functioning educational base, I can't go anywhere. If I don't understand gravity, if I can't understand 9/11. Thank you, Goose. I gave up wanting anything but chocolate. Okay. Well, I'm not giving up. And I thank you for that. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. I'm not giving up. And I'm not here. I'm trying to correct it. I'm not here just to complain and to bitch. I'm here to correct it. We need the Delta Force. We need the best thinkers in the world. And we have to get people, and I'm sorry, I want to bring everybody into a room. And whether it's Alex or whether it's Nick or whether it's Candace, I want to say, stop carping, stop sniping, stop talking about it. Tucker, talk about what you're doing. You're doing a great job. Stop talking about Nick. Stop talking about this. Stop talking about you don't like this one, and this one's not a cool kid, and he's not one of us. And you got Charlie Kirk, and Charlie Kirk goes, well, you're not this, and CPAC. Stop it. Do what you want. Just do me one favor. Don't mention any other name other than to applaud them. Bring them in, doing great work. And there are these others, whether it's Dinesh, remember Cernovich, remember Probiotic, I don't know his name, but those people, bring them into the. Don't say whatever happened to. Oh, they're not cool now. They're not the commentator du jour. This has become a cult of personality. We're all on the same team. Nobody during World War II said, "Well, I like Patton better. I think Omar Bradley's cool. I think George C. Marshall, he's cool." No, it was a general. It wasn't which one do you like. We've become, because of this instant voting nonsense that we live in, this is where we are. I believe in this country. I swear to God, I am looking for, look, we're on the back nine. If not, it's over. All right. This month, 67 years old. Yay. Great. Half of the time I was saying, good, you worry about this. I don't have to worry about this crap. Because we're on the back nine. That's the way it goes. I'm not fighting it. Period. You don't understand. And yet there was a time in my country when I was 11 years old, I could be 10 years old, and we thought Vietnam, we used to wear POW bracelets in grade school, in elementary school. We cared. It was cool to be aware, to understand what was going on, to understand where Vietnam was, to understand. We were so into it about the environment and about war and things that mattered. It was cool. Today, Today we've been hijacked by silly things like LGBTQIA, too trans, this and spirited. I told you one time I mentioned this today. I went to this thing one time. There was a bunch of Native Americans. Frozen. There we go. They handed me a bunch of sage, and they let me get rid of this. And I said, "What the hell is this?" I thought it was a big joint. I said, "What am I supposed to do with this thing?" They said, "Rub it over yourself." I said, "Rub it over myself? What are you talking about?" It was smoke from a sage. It was okay. And people were talking complete. Listen, if you think LGBTQIA, if you think that's good, you ain't heard nothing yet. I heard people say they were part of Indian tribes. I think they made it up on the spot. I'm the Tutukwa tribe. I'm a Tutukwa. My Indian name is Chinakawaka. I think they're just making this up. I was like, okay, it took each person 20 minutes to say who they were. I'm a two-spirit LGBT trans pansexual. I'm from the Kikuana tribe. I said, they handed me the big joint. And I said, my name's Lionel. I handed I said, what am I going to? We have become so immersed in identitarian nonsense that we've missed the big point. We've missed gay and straight and bi. That didn't mean anything. Today it's a whole nother story. So the bottom line is this, my friend. I don't want to go too off. I want you to focus on this. Do not lose your insight. Do not lose your focus, but recognize we're in a battle. We have different rules, you're going to have different leaders, and it's incumbent upon you. You have to learn this, not me. You have to spend your time not just reading your stuff, not just going on TikTok, but reading and immersing yourself in the rules that are available. Rules that are available and rules that are information that is here and available for you. All right, 5 o'clock today, Mrs. L. Lynns Warriors. Make sure you're part of that. 5 p.m. Eastern time. And don't forget also Lionel Legal. And make sure, Lionel Nation, you are subscribed to this. We're past the 300,000 mark. Thanks to you. Thanks to your love. I want to go to 1 million. Because the only thing that counts in this country is numbers. That's it. How many followers? How many subscribers? How many likes? That's it. If Isaac Newton had 5,000 subscribers, nobody'd listen. But Bill Nye, the science guy, would be more popular than Isaac Newton. All right? Does that make sense to you? No, it doesn't. All right, dear friends, have a great and a glorious day. Power to the people. Remember, the rules have changed. And let's see how long this Nick Fuentes can mix things up. I don't know who's going to be the next guy, but I love the fact that we're finally asking ourselves, what about America first? What about MAGA and MAGA or MAGA? What about what brought us to the dance? We've been splintered into all these subgroups of incomprehensible gibberish and this logo-lalic nonsense. Okay? Okay. All right, my friends, I love you. Thanks for the chat, the super chats. Appreciate that. Thanks for the support. We'll talk to you later. Don't forget, subscribe. Lionel Nation. Until then, my friends, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue you. Now I'm going to jump in the shower before I got